And the cat? Cat's on the way, goes well.
All right. Good morning, everybody. We're going to start on our back this morning. So lying down to the top of the mat. Hands down by our side, palms facing up. And we'll slowly start to focus on our breathing. So set our pace for the class today. So a nice deep inhale through your nose. And then nice matching exhales through your nose. So with your inhale, just follow your breath mentally as it goes over the back of your throat and all the way down to your abdomen. As your abdomen slowly expands. And your exhale, as your belly drops. Again, passes over the back of your throat and out your nose. So when we breathe in, just breathe in nice and deep and low, so we're not filling our lungs first. The three parts, you can breathe in, fill your abdomen, and then slowly into your lungs. And as you exhale, your lungs drop, and so does your belly. So let's take a minute once we have our breath in order to set our intention for today's class. What brought you here today this early? Flexibility, mental clarity, just physical well-being, whatever it is. Just allow yourself a moment to focus on that. With your next inhale, we're going to bring the hands up and overhead, extended out, still on the ground or on your mat. Slowly take your body and shift it over to the right side of the mat. So your right hip is aligned with the right side of your mat. And just bring your feet over to the bottom left corner. Let your hands follow to the upper left corner. So we're making a C shape with our body. Just gently stretching through the arms, opening the right side body. And release, bring your feet and your arms back to the right side. Now slowly shift your body all the way over to the left side of the mat. Left hip is aligned with the left edge. Bring your feet to the lower right corner now. And shift your arms over to the right, upper right corner of the mat. So keeping your left shoulder pulling down towards the mat, reaching through the left fingertips. And release. Come back to the center of your mat. And slowly come all the way up. We're going to come up to seated. Tuck the feet, rock forward, and come up to seated. So you're sitting now on your heels, sitting up nice and tall. So with our next inhale, bring both hands up and overhead, shoulders pulling down and back. Exhale, twisting over to the right side, dropping your right hand toward your base of your spine. Left hand is on the outside of your right thigh, and just gently gazing over your right shoulder. And at the bottom of your next exhale, release the twist. Inhaling both hands up and overhead. And exhale, twisting over to the left. Left hand is towards the base of spine. Right hand on the outside of your left thigh. Still sitting up nice and tall, but gazing over our left shoulder. And after your exhale, release, come back to center. Inhale, hands up and overhead. And come forward into your tabletop position. So hands are under your shoulders, knees are under your hips. We're going to inhale, extending the right arm out in front of us, kicking the left foot back. So inhale, we reach and crunch, bringing your knee to your elbow underneath your chest. Reach out and crunch. Reach and crunch. Reach one more time. You can bring that foot up a little higher. And exhale, release down to the mat. And go ahead and extend your left arm out, right foot back. And crunch, knee to elbow under your chest. Extending out. And crunch. Extend. Crunch one more time. Extend out, holding. Raise your foot up, your arm up. Deep inhale, and release down to the mat. From here, walk your hands forward towards the top of the mat. Extend your feet back, coming into a plank position. And slowly lower all the way down to the mat. Elbows in tight. Drop the tops of your feet. And slowly push up to a baby cobra. And then push back over your knees into your child's pose. So knees are towards the outside edges of the mat. Hips are sinking into your heels. Arms reaching to the top of the mat. On your chest and your chin all sink down. After your next exhale, come forward into a plank. Inhale. Exhale, lower all the way down. This time we come up, push a little higher, maybe a straight arm cobra. This up, shoulders pulling down, and push back and over your feet into your downward dog. So hips pushing up nice and high. Go ahead and bend and straighten one knee at a time. So we start to stretch out the ankles, the calves. Now come up under your tiptoes and slowly lower both heels back as far as you can. And after your next exhale, look to the top of the mat. Slowly walk your feet all the way forward between your hands. And allow yourself to just hang forward. Take hold of opposite elbows and rock gently from side to side. Release your elbows and slowly come all the way up to standing. Bring your head up last. Inhale, hands up and overhead. Slight back bend, pushing the hips forward. And exhale, release. Bring your hands down to your chest and releasing down to your side. Palms forward. So inhale, hands up and overhead. Exhale, folding forward, nice flat back, all the way down to your fingertips. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthening through our spine. And bend your knees, plant your palms, and go through your flow. At the bottom of your next exhale, look to the top of the mat. Step or walk forward. Inhaling, coming up halfway and lengthening. Exhale, fold. And inhale, all the way up to standing, arms up and overhead. Palms together, and release down by your side. Inhale, hands overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, up halfway and lengthen. Bend your knees, plant your palms, exhale, stepping back into a plank, lowering all the way down, and then going through your flow. To your next exhale, lift to the top of the mat, step and walk forward, coming up halfway, lengthening. Exhale, fold. And inhale, all the way up to standing, hands overhead. Exhale, release, hands down by your side. And one more. Inhale, overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. Exhale, bend your knees, plant your palms, step all the way back and lower down. Inhale, come up. And exhale, back to down dog to complete your flow. Make sure to keep the pressure out of your wrists, so we're pushing through our fingers, pushing our hamstrings, our hips up nice and high, trying to sink those heels all the way down to the mat. After your next exhale, to the top of the mat, step, walk, or jump forward, coming up halfway, lengthening. Exhale, fold. And inhale, come all the way up to standing. Palms together, and release down to your side. Now go ahead, we're going to inhale, bend our knees, drop our tailbone while sweeping the hands up for our chair pose. So most of the weight's in the heels, gaze is up, shoulders are pulling down and back, tailbone's tucked. Nice deep inhale. Exhale, hinge at the hips first. Bring your fingertips down, and then straighten the legs. And then inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. Bend the knees, plant your palms. Step back into a plank, go through your flow. From your down dog, go ahead and step your right foot forward, drop your back foot at 45. Coming up into your warrior one. Hips are sinking down, knees push forward, hips are squared. Exhale, release, hands down by your foot, step back, go through your flow. This time, step your left foot forward, dropping your right heel to 45. Arms up for warrior one. Exhale, release, hands down, step back, lower all the way down. Inhale for up, cobra, and exhale into down dog for 5 breaths. And at the bottom of your next exhale, look to the top of the mat. Step, walk, or jump forward. Inhaling halfway up. Exhale, fold. And inhale, bend your knees, tuck your tailbone, sweeping the hands out for our chair. Deep inhale, come up to standing. And exhale, release the hands to your chest and down by your side. So inhale, hands up and over. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway, lengthen. Bend your knees, plant your palms, step back and go through your flow. After your next exhale, you're going to come down to your tabletop position again. From here, so hands under your shoulders, knees under your hips. Take your right foot, pivot it out to the side of the mat. You're going to extend the left leg to the bottom of the mat while extending the left hand up towards the ceiling. A nice straight line from your right wrist all the way through your left fingertips. Left shoulders pulling back, opening the chest. With your next inhale, we're going to come all the way up, both arms extended, like a modified warrior two. So you're not leaning forward, sitting up nice and tall. Shoulder blades are pulling back towards each other. Inhale, drop the left hand to the back of your thigh, raising the right hand towards the ceiling. One more deep inhale, reaching through the right hand. And exhale, release both hands down to the mat, bringing your knee or your right foot back onto the mat. So go ahead and push back for a down dog. And inhale the right foot to the top of the mat, dropping the left knee down, pushing the hips forward, bring the hands up. The hips are sinking forward, they're squared, knees is up, chest is up. And exhale, release, both hands down to the mat. Plant your left hand on the inside of your right foot. We're going to take our right hand and extend it up towards the ceiling. And if you'd like to challenge yourself here, you can extend the back leg. And release, both hands to the mat. If your leg's extended, try to keep it extended. Because now we're going to push up all the way to standing. Bring our hands together at the center of our chest. Slowly twisting over to the right side. And dropping our left elbow on the outside of our right knee. Extending the right elbow towards the ceiling. Keeping the distance between your chest and your thigh. You're not collapsing over. You can drop your hips just a little bit more. Gaze is up. Take one more nice deep breath. Inhale, twisting a little deeper. And exhale, release both hands to the mat. Stepping your right foot back to meet the left. You plank and go through your flow. Now go ahead and release down back into your tabletop. Go ahead and pivot your left foot off the side of the mat, extending the right foot to the bottom of the mat, and raising the right hand towards the ceiling, opening up your chest, pulling your right shoulder back. And with your next inhale, come all the way up to standing. So both arms are extended out. And now drop your right hand to the back of your right thigh, extending the left hand towards the ceiling. With your next inhale, reach to the left fingertips just a little bit more. And exhale, release. Wheeling down, both hands to the mat. Stepping back into your plank. And pushing up into a down dog. And go ahead and step the left foot to the top of the mat. Dropping your right knee. And inhale, both hands up and overhead. Hips are sinking down. Bring your palms together if it doesn't compromise your shoulders. If it causes your shoulders to pull up tight towards your ears, just keep your hands spaced. And exhale, release both hands down to the mat. Planting your right hand on the inside of your left foot. Go ahead and inhale the left arm up towards the ceiling. Make sure you keep your left knee pulling in towards your right shoulder. You want to challenge yourself by extending the back leg here. Welcome. Just pulling that left shoulder back, opening up the chest. And exhale, release. Now we're going to come all the way up to standing. Hands together at the center of your chest. Slowly twisting over to the left side. And drop the right elbow over the left knee, extending the left elbow towards the ceiling. And with your next exhale, release both hands to frame your foot. Step your left foot back to meet the right in a plank position. And go through your flow. And remember to keep your down dog active. You're constantly pushing through your fingertips. Your shoulders are actually externally rotating. Hips are pushing up nice and high, trying to sink the heels all the way back and down to the mat in the full expression. After your next exhale, we're going to come forward back into a plank. Rock back for our turbo dog. And then we're going to try to hop forward, bringing our feet to the outside of our hands. So I'll show you. Hop forward. Your feet are on the outside of the edges of the mat. Slowly sinking the hips down for our yogi squat. So bring your chest up. Palms together at the center of your chest. Knees pushing, elbows pushing the knees out. If you can sit all the way back on your heels, that's great. If you need to be on your toes, that's fine. Just keep your weight coming back. The chest is up, gaze is up. We're going to try our crow pose here. So if you're comfortable and have a pretty confident crow pose, go ahead and work with that. If not, I'm going to show you an easy way to kind of lean into it. So from your yogi squat, release your hands down to the mat, up, feet width apart. So your elbows are kind of tucked inside your knees. And you're gently just rocking forward. And you can bring one foot up at a time. That's how you feel comfortable. Just getting a feel for the balance as your upper body leans forward. And when you're ready, bracing your hands, extending your elbows, slowly lean forward. Just kind of feeling both feet off the mat. You just balance there. You don't have to go too deep. Just getting a feel for that forward shift. And once you feel comfortable there, you can see how long, maybe you can get 5 breaths, just feet suspended. See how your arms are feeling, your wrists. When you feel really comfortable, you can bring your knees up to the back of your triceps. And then if you're suspended, you can kick back, lower down, and go through your flow. And we're all going to meet back seated. And just put the tops of your hands on the mat so we stretch out those wrists. It causes a lot of pressure in your wrist creases. So just put the tops of your hands on the mat, lean forward, stretch those out. And we'll come back up to seated. Go ahead and bring your hands to the top of the mat. Step back into a plank. Go through your flow. And from our down dog, we're going to step our left foot to the top of the mat and slowly walk your hands over. So now both feet, our toes are facing off the side of our mat. Our hands are down the center of our chest. We're folded forward. See if you can walk your hands back so the heel of your palm is in line with the heel of your foot. Nice flat back. Now go ahead and come up halfway. Bring your left hand to the center of your chest. And it can come forward. It doesn't have to be all the way back still. So it's directly into the center of your chest. And inhale the right arm up towards the ceiling. Pulling the right shoulder open. Still keeping a nice flat back. Knees are straight if possible. A slight micro bend. Take one more deep inhale. Bring the shoulder open. And exhale, release. Reaching all the way across with your right hand taking hold of your left ankle. And just allow yourself to gently lean into the shoulder. So you're opening the back of your shoulder. It's not a very intense pose. You're just letting your body making the work. And release. So now you'll bring your right hand down to the mat, the center of your chest. And inhale your left arm towards the ceiling. The left shoulder pulls up and back in the chest. One more inhale, opening a little bit more. And exhale, release. Reaching across now with your left hand, taking hold of your right ankle. And just slowly leaning into the left shoulder. Your right hand can just hang out, drop down to the mat. And release, both hands to the center of the mat. And slowly come up with a flat back. Inhale, halfway, lengthen through the spine. And fold. And inhale, come all the way up to standing. Bringing the arms out and up and overhead. Palms together, hips pushing forward. And release to the center of your chest. Go ahead and step to the top of your mat. One more time. Inhale, arms up and overhead. Exhale, fold. Inhale, come up halfway and lengthen. Bend your knees, plant your palms, and go through your flow. This is your last flow of today's class. See if you can sink a little bit deeper, a little bit stronger. So take one more deep inhale, pushing back nice and high. And exhale, release, dropping your knees down to the mat. So we'll come up. We're not seated back, we're going to be standing on our knees basically. Toes are tucked. Go ahead, inhale, both hands up and overhead. We go into our camel pose. So we'll drop one hand at a time. So we'll go ahead and circle your right arm back, taking hold of your right heel. And just slowly push your hips forward, extending the left arm back. Go ahead and release the right arm back up. Inhale, reaching through the fingertips. And circle the left hand back, taking hold of your left heel. And pushing the hips forward, slightly arching back. And release, and up to standing. Bring both hands up and overhead. We're going to try to take hold of both heels now. That's available to you. So reaching through the fingertips. Slowly circle the right arm back. Pushing the hips forward. When you're ready, slowly circle the left hand back. Now you're taking hold of both heels. Hips pushing forward. Chest is opening. If you're comfortable and it's okay, you can slowly drop your head back as well. And release, bring the left arm up first, and then the right arm. Inhale, reaching up nice and tall. And exhale, release. Both hands down to the mat. Release your feet, so now the tops of your feet are flat on the mat. Go ahead and sit back in your heels. Bring your knees together. And we're gonna now, for our counter pose, our rabbit pose. So hand legs are together, sitting back, feet are flat. Slowly start to lean forward. Hands are extended, reaching towards our feet. And all the way down, you're going to bring the crown of your head to the mat. So you're not bringing your face or your forehead. You're going to bring the crown of your head to the mat. Take hold of your heels and slowly bring your hips up. So not creating too much pressure in your neck, but it's just a gentle counter pose. One more breath, inhale, and exhale, release, slowly coming back up. Now go ahead and extend both legs out in front of you. The feet are extended out together, sit up nice and tall, hands are down by your hips. Inhale, and overhead. And slowly lean forward, reaching towards your feet. If you have a strap, use that to assist you. But if you can, take hold of your big toes, your peace fingers, and slowly pull the crown of your head towards your toes. Inhale, release, coming up halfway, lengthening through your spine. Exhale, see if you can deepen your stretch, reach a little bit more. Maybe pull the strap a little closer. And fold forward. Release, coming up to seated. Go ahead and bring, so our left foot is now extended. We'll bring our right foot to the inside of our thigh. Sitting up nice and tall. Reaching forward with your left hand or your strap. Go ahead and pull the right shoulder back, extending the right arm up and over. And slowly reaching over towards our left toes. You're just opening up the right side body. Right shoulders pulling back. And release. Go ahead and switch legs. So you're bringing your left foot to the inside of your right thigh, extending the right leg out. And reaching forward, taking hold of your right big toe. Pulling the left shoulder back. And extending the arm up and overhead. And release. Coming back up, seated. Go ahead and pivot your feet out towards the top of your mat. From here, we're going to slowly lower all the way down to our back. Bringing your feet up, letting the bottoms of your feet on the mat, hip width apart. And we slowly push our hips up for our bridge pose. Rolling the shoulders, arms underneath, clasping the hands. And pushing the outside blade or the little finger edge of the hand down into the mat. So we extend our hips up a little higher. Inhale, see if you can lift your hips just a tad higher. And exhale, release. And release your feet, extending your legs to the end of the mat. Go ahead and inhale. Bring your right knee, pull it in nice and tight to your chest. And slowly start to pull it over to the left side of the mat, extending your right arm out to the right. You're rolling over onto your left hip. Gaze can be up or out over your right fingers. Just keep that right shoulder pulling down towards the mat. And release, bring your knee back up. Go ahead and pull it in tight to your chest. Release it all the way into the mat. And pull your left knee up, nice and tight. And then slowly pull your left knee over to the right side, rolling onto your left hip, or excuse me, right hip, extending the left arm out. And with your exhales, slowly release. Bring both knees up, Then pull both knees up, lift the bottoms of your feet towards the ceiling. Take hold of the outside of your feet for a happy baby pose. So you're pulling your knees down towards your underarms, your armpits, and just gently rock from side to side, massaging your back. Now release, bring the bottoms of your feet together, and slowly let them drop all the way down to the mat. Knees are dropping the outside edges of your mat. Your hands are extended out beside you, palms facing up. So with your next exhale, go ahead and release the bottoms of your feet, extending your legs out. With our next inhale, it's going to be a nice deep inhale. We're going to come up, bringing our shoulders, our upper body, our head, our feet, legs, everything off the mat, reaching forward and then squeezing every muscle in our bodies. Inhale, squeeze everything, squeezing the eyes closed. Deep inhale. And exhale, release everything down to the mat. Feet are hanging side to side. Palms facing up, relaxed by your hips. Eyes are closing. As we go into our final relaxation pose, we take a few seconds to do a mental scan of your body, starting from your toes, just working your way up, seeing how everything feels, and allowing it to relax into the mat. Getting rid of all tension. And once you've completed your scan, slowly start to come back to your breath. In the beginning, just following it. Breathe in through your nose, back of your throat, and all the way down to your abdomen. And then on your exhale, follow it back all the way out. And see if you can just focus on this for a little bit. Let's slowly start to bring our attention back into the room, being aware of surroundings, and then back into your body, creating some movement, your toes and your feet, your legs, and your fingertips. Back to our breath. And when you're ready, bring your knees up to your chest and slowly roll over onto your right side, extending your arm underneath your head. And when you like, coming all the way up to seated. Sitting up nice and tall. Nice deep inhale, reaching the arms up and overhead. Palms together and releasing down to your chest. Thank you for joining this morning. I hope you had a wonderful class, a wonderful day.